South Africa, a land of breathtaking beauty and brutal inequality. It's a tale of two nations, really, one shimmering with wealth, the other grappling with poverty's grip, and beneath the surface a dark industry thrives, illegal mining. This isn't about big corporations, this is about desperation. Ordinary people driven to extraordinary lengths. They venture into abandoned mine shafts, risking their lives for a chance, just a chance, at a better life. The allure? Gold. That shiny metal that has captivated humans for centuries. But this isn't the gold rush of old. This is a fight for survival, a dangerous gamble where the stakes are incredibly high. It's a story that needs to be told, a story about the human cost of inequality and the desperate measures people take when hope starts to fade. It's about families torn apart by the relentless pursuit of gold, communities that once thrived, now struggling to survive, and the environmental scars left behind, a testament to the cost of this hidden industry. Yet amidst the darkness there is a glimmer of hope. A hope for change, for a better tomorrow. Activists and organizations are stepping in, striving to bring light to this shadowy world. Together they fight for justice, for equality, and for a future where no one has to risk their life for survival. Stilfontein, a name that once echoed with the sounds of industry and life. Once a bustling mining town, it was the heartbeat of the region, thriving on the wealth drawn from its rich gold mines. Now it stands as a stark reminder of the industry's decline, with empty streets and abandoned buildings. The gold mines, once a source of prosperity, now stand silent, their glory days long gone. Their shafts, now haunted by the ghosts of miners past and present, echo with memories of a bygone era. But the mines are not empty. In the shadows, a new kind of miner has emerged. Illegal miners, known as Zama Zamas, have taken over these forgotten depths. They descend into the darkness, armed with nothing but hope and rudimentary tools. The conditions are treacherous and the risks are immense. Darkness is their constant companion, a silent witness to their perilous journey. The air, thick with dust and the threat of collapse, makes every breath a gamble. Accidents are common, deadly, but still they go down, driven by desperation and the faint hope of striking gold, because the surface offers even less hope. It's a tragic paradox where the promise of gold traps them in a cycle of danger and despair. A town built on gold, now held hostage by it, caught in a relentless struggle between survival and ruin. What would drive someone to such extremes? The answer is simple: survival. Most Zama Zamas are unemployed. They come from impoverished communities. Communities ravaged by the closure of legal mines. The promise of gold, even a tiny amount, is enough to entice them. They work tirelessly, often for days on end, their bodies pushed to the limit. The reward? A pittance, just enough to keep food on the table. They are exploited by criminal syndicates. These gangs control the mines, the supply chains, even the miners themselves. It's a vicious cycle of poverty and exploitation, and the Zama Zamas are caught in the middle. The impact of illegal mining extends far beyond the mines themselves. It's tearing apart the fabric of communities. The economy of Stilfontein is in ruins. Legal businesses struggle to survive. Tourism has dwindled to a trickle. The South African Chamber of Mines estimates that illegal mining costs the country billions of rands each year. Billions that could be used for education, healthcare, job creation, but instead it lines the pockets of criminals. The environment also suffers. Illegal mining operations pollute the water and the land, leaving behind a toxic legacy that will take generations to clean up. Section 5. Voices from the ground, fear and frustration. The residents of Stilfontein are caught in a crossfire, living each day with a sense of dread. They live in fear of the Zama Zamas, who are often desperate and armed, willing to do anything to survive, but they also understand their plight. Knowing that desperation drives these miners to such extremes, they see their own sons, brothers and fathers disappear into the mines, risking their lives for a chance at a better future.
"We are living in fear," says a local shopkeeper, her voice trembling with emotion and uncertainty. "But what can we do? We feel powerless and abandoned. These young men have no other options, no opportunities to build a better life."
"The government has abandoned us," says another resident, his voice filled with frustration and anger. "They closed the mines and left us with nothing, no jobs, no support, no hope. Now they act surprised that people are desperate, that crime and fear have taken over. Their voices, filled with a mixture of fear and frustration, paint a grim picture of their daily reality, a picture of a community teetering on the brink, struggling to survive in a world that seems to have forgotten them. Section 6. The Glimmer of Justice, a Distant Hope. The South African government is not oblivious to the crisis. They've launched numerous raids on illegal mining operations, arresting miners and seizing equipment, but these efforts often feel like a band-aid on a gaping wound.
The police are outmatched and outgunned. The criminal syndicates are deeply entrenched, with connections to corrupt officials. And the cycle of poverty and desperation continues.
There have been some successes, high-profile arrests, seizures of large quantities of gold, but these victories feel fleeting. For every mine shut down, another one seems to pop up. Section 7. South Africa's mining conundrum. The issue of illegal mining in South Africa is complex. It's a symptom of deeper societal problems: inequality, poverty, unemployment, and the legacy of apartheid, which continues to cast a long shadow.
The mining industry, once the backbone of the South African economy, is in decline. Legal mines are closing, jobs are being lost, and communities are being left behind.
The government is faced with a difficult balancing act. They need to crack down on illegal mining, which is dangerous and damaging, but they also need to address the root causes that drive people to this desperate measure. Section 8. The Cycle of Poverty and Peril. The story of Stilfontein is not unique. It's a microcosm of what's happening in many parts of South Africa, where poverty and unemployment are rampant, and where the lure of quick riches often outweighs the risks.
Breaking this cycle requires a multi-pronged approach: creating jobs, investing in education and skills development, providing opportunities for people to lift themselves out of poverty.
It also requires tackling corruption, both within the government and within the mining industry itself. As long as there are people willing to profit from the exploitation of others, the problem will persist. Section 9. A future tainted with uncertainty. The future of Stilfontein, and other communities like it, hangs in the balance. Will they be able to break free from the grip of illegal mining, or will they continue to be haunted by the ghosts of their past?
The answer lies in the hands of the South African government. Will they finally address the root causes of this crisis, or will they continue to apply band-aid solutions to a gaping wound?
The world is watching and hoping that South Africa can find a way to heal its wounds and create a future where all its citizens have a chance to prosper.